You're listening to Mondo Cool, the only Dragon Ball movie podcast that gives you a Zenkai boost.
That's right, boys. Mondo Cool.
What's up, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to this month's edition of Mondo Cool. As always, I'm your host, KZ Excellent of KZExcellent.com, and with me are my stunning Dragon Ball superfan co-hosts, Dan and Bob Video Games from GigaBoots.com. How you doing?
Bob, a computer chip floating through outer space has taken over my body. I am now Dan Computer Games.
Oh no. This sounds bad.
And Mr. Feel from Mr. Feel's Getty Star.
Don't worry, I'll kill Dan by installing Denuvo on him.
Oh no! Goes right into the kernel. Now, for those who haven't seen this show before, every single episode we come forth having watched a Dragon Ball film. We're going through them in release order, and we give a summary of it, talk about it, have some segments about it, give it a final score and rating. And if you want to get access to this show earlier than now, well, Feel's going to tell you how to do that.
You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get early access to Mondo Cool, as well as many other benefits, such as commentary tracks for bad movies that we watch on our Cursed Content Club show, the ability to vote on what movie we watch for our Patreon exclusive show, Cursed Content by Committee, extended armchair dev pitches, and by the time you hear this, probably early access to a Bleach podcast, assuming we made it through the horror. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
Ah, yes. The horrors of podcasting. Well, for this episode, we have braved yet another Dragon Ball Z film, and we are proud to present this episode, which covers Dragon Ball Z: The Return of Cooler, or as it's called in Japanese,
Dragon Ball Z Clash 10 Billion Power Warriors.
God, how does it find a way to be worse every time?
Oh.
you know,
I'm sorry. I mean, Dragon Ball Z Geki Totsu Hyaku Okapawa no Senshitachi.
Oh, that sounds way better. I like that title.
It hides behind it, the language you don't understand.
No, I understand it well enough to know that sounded cool.
Now, we have yet to encounter one that's worse than the Bardock one.
That was so long.
That was 3.5 sentences. I had to slow down the music when he did that one. But anyway, Dan, can you give me a lengthy summary of what happens in Dragon Ball Z: The Return of Cooler?
Dragon Ball Z: Return of Metal Cooler is a one movie about a day where
Wait.
one planet starts coming towards it, and all at once it gets consumed by this weird metal planet, and they freak out. All the Namekians are screaming and stuff, and then Dende on Earth senses this, and we cut to him, and Popo's like, okay, ask the nice man to help. And then Dende says, Goku, please help. And then we hold on the shot for 5 seconds. A theme in this movie is holding on shots for a really long time to save money. Then you get your cool intro, which, depending on which version you listen to, is either the classic Chala Head Chala or some guy your dad knows who's really good at guitar, he guesses.
Yeah. He's very good.
He's something. So then we throw together our ragtag team to deal with this problem. Hey, Bob.
What's up?
I'm gonna list individual people on this ragtag team, and you tell me if it makes sense.
Sure.
Okay, Goku.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
Okay.
He probably should use instant transmission, but I guess he can ride on a spaceship.
What about Krillin?
Yeah, he's strong.
Okay, Gohan maybe?
He got the guru boost.
Yeah, Yajirobe.
I guess he can bring Senzu beans?
Okay.
He's the Bean Daddy. We established this last film.
Oolong.
What?
That makes sense because, again, the Dragon Ball Z movies exist in a continuity where Oolong is the main character.
When will we be free of this fucking... When will this pig get Me Too'd?
I don't know.
Is maybe they were going camping and they just didn't know this was an emergency.
That... do you guys understand why I thought they were just going camping?
Yes.
Based on the start of this movie,
Based
where
on
they're
the
sitting
cast?
around having a picnic in a spaceship.
Yes. I really appreciated some of the dialogue in the spaceship in the US dub, where they're just like,
Yup.
he's packed on a few pounds to his ego, ha ha ha, super Namekian, ha ha ha, and then it just cuts to Piccolo, and he's like, very funny. It was exceptional.
You know how I knew things were real dire? When the Japanese audio had 10 times as much dialogue as the last 3 movies.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, oh.
That's not... That can't be good because the dub usually saves this by ad-libbing.
I think the moment I realized this was bad is when it held on Dende's face for 5 solid seconds, and I was like, okay, that's just the intro shot. It's fine. That was just one time. It's going to be okay. And then we spent, and I shit you not, 14 solid seconds panning across space.
There's so... They showed, I timed
building an atmosphere.
1 minute and 14 seconds of the previous movie. They just showed the entire climax of that movie to fill time.
It felt so long. I saw it was literally 5 minutes straight.
I literally skipped it, honestly, while watching this.
No!
I just went, I'm calling your shot. Skip. Okay, it's over. And then he goes, yes, you too remember the last movie. I was like, come on!
It came out 7 months ago.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
That explains everything.
Are you telling me this movie was made in 7 months? Because I'd fucking believe it.
And what would make you think that this was made in 7 months?
Well, he made the joke of this movie. Do you remember the last movie? It came out 7 months ago.
Okay, maybe some choice shots you may have screenshotted may imply this.
The worst part, normally when you see someone screenshot like, oh man, Dragon Ball looks really bad, it's like an in-betweener. These were shots it landed on and held on. These were the hero shots of the scenes they're in.
I posted I got a bunch of horrible screen caps. I didn't fish for them. I just hit the screen cap button whenever I was looking at it, and I'm like, this looks unreal.
Yeah, no, it looks closer to an episode of a Bob Epic Team than a Dragon Ball Z
even
movie.
a Dragon Ball episode, honestly.
Yes.
Thank God it's not Aqua Teen.
There is one part there were 2 specific parts of this movie that started to make me stroke out. They were short little clips, but each time it was like my brain got hit with an LSD hammer.
With a brain blast.
One was when Piccolo was fighting the robots, and it cut to a shot of his wrist and fist, and then motion lines behind it as his fist did not move.
Yes. There was a moment during a quote-unquote fight scenes, I looked it down, I was like, is this supposed to be a fight? Because it was just quick pans of still frames of the enemy, and then still frames of Krillin.
Yeah, it was just insanely zoomed in shots of faces and them going, yeah!
Then there was a shot of Metal Cooler. A profile shot of Metal Cooler. The background is panning behind him, but they aren't even jostling him. And they're playing the heaviest footstep sound effects I've ever heard.
Yeah, that was kind of nuts too. It's real rough.
You don't know it. Metal Cooler's fucking 3 tons.
Like, what are you? Why you didn't have to do this?
So anyway, our picnic crew gets to New Namek to try to save the Namekians from the evil,
which had the Deus Ex piss filter on it.
To try to save them from the evil big metal planet. They got robots who've got them walking in small lines. They're clearly corralling up the Namekians for some sort of nefarious reason. And that's when our crew arrives to save one of the Namekians from getting owned. And that's when shit breaks down. And, we've got a full lineup of these generic sort of Toriyama-style robots. And then out of nowhere comes Metal Cooler. And that's when he uses the power of exposition to subject us to a minute plus of the last movie, where
it's been so long since we saw it.
Wherein he explains that he is back thanks to the power of the big Getty star.
I like that Goku recognizes him as Metal Cooler when he couldn't even recognize him as different from Frieza last movie.
I know.
Yeah, well, now he knows.
Now he knows that this.
Well, he fought him last week, so it's fine.
It's been 2 days.
Jesus. Okay, I guess since it's only been 2 days, he can recognize a metal version of him on a planet where it would make no sense for him to be after he's been incinerated in the sun.
He sounds the same.
That's true. He does sound
exactly like Frieza.
He sounds nothing like
Japanese anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say he sounds nothing like the old lady from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, it's Genkai.
Yeah, he sounds nothing like Genkai. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's when this movie just becomes an enormous, incredibly mediocre fight sequence.
What do you mean?
We get to see shots of everyone trying to punch the robots, then holding their hand because it hurt. And then Piccolo tells them, why don't you focus your energy on your fist? And then they start beating them up. It's like, God.
I like that because it implies they never do that ever in all of Dragon Ball.
Right?
Yes, that's insane.
No, see, they do, but they have to put it all right in the point at the instant they hit him, or it won't work.
Okay.
Oh, that makes it reasonable.
And then Piccolo minutes later is like, what if I just blow up the whole area and they all blow up?
Well, he's a super Namekian. He's raw.
But he wasn't minutes
Oolong
ago.
could have done it.
Oolong could have done it. The only joke that landed in this for me was Oolong shit-talking them while staring at a mountain. And then being told, hey, they're over there, dude. And he's like, what? You want me to face them and say that? I think that was the only joke that landed in the whole thing.
There was, another shot that just made me crack up with how shitty it looked. There's this one shot of Goku wearing a spacesuit. And he's like, he's like normal, cheerful looking Goku. And then he like narrows his eyes and looks down and becomes like hard ass Goku when he's ready to rumble. But it's like his face is behind a cutout of a spacesuit. So his nose and his whole face goes into the suit, and you just see his eyes peeking up over the collar.
What we're saying is the art is on display in this.
Yes.
Brazen,
it's
even.
Like going, this whole movie looked like one of those YouTube videos where they trace over scenes of Dragon Ball to make an original thing.
It does.
Where it's like Super Saiyan 5 Goku fights Super Saiyan 10 Broly, and it's just they MS painted over clips of the anime with different colors.
Dan, you were pointing out to me while we were watching this, oh man, this is probably just reusing old assets they had left over from the Frieza saga, because we're on what looks like Namek again. And I assume, so a lot of the backgrounds are literally just repeated.
Yeah, it's
No, they look so much worse. They all look worse than even the original anime.
You know why? They had to zoom in for 16:9.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, that's right. My assumption from now on is to remember, oh shit, Dragon Ball Z never went off air. It always stayed in that time slot. So if a movie looks bad, that means they're like, no, we want the show to at least look presentable right now, so fuck you, Skeleton Crew.
Now I have to check, like, during the development of this, where were they in the anime? I have to see if that sheds any kind of light on this. March 7th, 1992.
Because there's even situations in multiple different, like, Toei related stuff, or even like just anytime an anime gets a movie where it's like, oh man, suddenly the show looks bad. Why? because all their talent went on making a movie, and clearly none of that went to the.
I was going to say, not this time.
Yeah, not this time. Those people are like, all right, we did Cooler once. Let's go back to the show.
This would have been like exactly.
I would have loved a scene that would have been as well animated as that Super Cooler owns Kaioken Goku that we got in the last movie, but no, nothing looked like that.
No, nothing looked even close to a scene in the last movie.
Nothing looked like a scene in anything.
It was really
Every single shot is bad. There's not a single thing that I would call on model. The closest they get is like Piccolo standing there and it looks almost normal, but then you look at his eyes and like they're going in different directions.
Yes, I know the exact shot you're talking about because I had the exact same thought of, oh, this looks pretty good, except for he's gone dog-eyed.
I like the moment where Goku removes one of Cooler's arms and it's like, oh, that's raw. Oh man, he can just regenerate forever.
Yeah, no, it's really great.
But he gets firmware updates every time he loses, so he's even better.
Yeah, the thing you need to realize is that this villain has limitations that are vague but supposedly cool, and just seems undefeatable. And then once they finally defeat him, there are 10,000 meta coolers. Isn't that cool?
There's a couple of things I wanted to point out. One, he just goes, yeah, I know about the instant transmission. Of course I do. So he just has that.
It's true. He beat up Goku in slip space.
Right? It's like, I don't think this is even how it's supposed to work.
It's not.
To be honest, that's probably the only thing I remember about this movie before watching this was, I think they just go into cyberspace at one point and battle for a second.
And then Janemba shows up.
Guess what? I don't think that explanation of the Mobile Suit Gundam Psychospace dimension is in the subs at all.
Yeah, they kind of just use instant transmission a lot.
Yeah, they don't.
And then they just fight at that speed, which I remember from the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi intro. They also do that there, where Goku fights Majin Buu in there for 6 seconds.
The dub doesn't even mention anything like that. It's really just the hey, he knows instant transmission, and then they start doing that. Like, there's no explanation.
Yeah, he's like, it's my favorite technique.
This is how good. Exactly. I'm reading the trivia for instant transmission. It says Meta Cooler states that instant transmission is his favorite technique. Since Cooler doesn't appear to use it on Earth, it can be assumed that it was learned after merging with the big Getty star.
Which would make sense. It's wandering everywhere. It just amassed a large set of knowledge. It'd be cool if this movie decided to take that concept and show like multiple different strange techniques to show that it knows things from across the universe instead of just the one thing we already know about.
Yeah,
Hazy,
it would have been really
They
cool.
decided to make this. They couldn't even make the shine on his metal body not look like the most inconsistent garbage in the history of the world. Like, there are times when all the shines just change in the same shot.
Yes.
For no reason.
So I didn't listen to this in Japanese. Do they call it the Gete star, or is it Getty also in Japanese? Because I keep seeing it written Gete. I ask because apparently the Gete in Big Gete star comes from Gete Mono, the Japanese for cobbled together.
Yes, I think it's Gete.
This movie is cobbled together.
So Vegeta shows up at one point, is like, I am also a Super Saiyan. He's like, whatever, monkeys are all flash, no substance. Vegeta appears. Within 60 seconds of him being in a frame, he has already been owned by Cooler, and it might be his worst performance in any of these movies. I don't know how you could top him just immediately getting pinned and choked out. It was so bad.
He wasn't ready for the instant transmission.
Here's where Bob has ruined me. He pins Vegeta down's about to kill him. Goku saves him. They fight in slip space for a second. Vegeta decides he's so mad, fuck it, collateral damage is acceptable, and tries to kill them both.
Yes.
Then Cooler kicks him in the dick so hard it instantly incapacitates him. Then Goku catches him, and here's what ruins me. They just explode.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to explode, and I'm like, this is the end of an intro to an Aqua Teen Hunger Force episode.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of stuff in here that's just stupid. That when Cooler chokes out Goku and then sends energy through his arm to grip him from the hand to the neck harder.
That was almost cool.
I don't even know what that is.
When Goku and Vegeta decide to just work together and own him and start doing finger guns to shoot him to pieces.
Bang, 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 bang.
I like when Vegeta shows the Destructo disc.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You see the Destructo disc and you're like, oh, Krillin showed up to... Hi, Vegeta, what are you doing in the center of the shot? Is it you? Did you throw the Destructo disc?
Did no one like the writers, though?
Vegeta's like, Kaioken times 20.
Second Destructo disc shows up. Oh, now he's here. It's Yajirobe.
Everyone but Krillin.
Yes.
God, this fucking movie, you guys. It's like, the weirdest part is we have a recycled villain from the last one. We have an abrupted, weird explanation of the entire movie's premise. And we have no new characters. There are none. There's no new interesting villain. There's no new
The villains that we have
sidekicks.
lackeys.
Yeah, they're just robots.
No, he has all those robots.
He's got the Cycloptian guards, and he's got that weird one little robot.
He has Claptrap.
Yeah,
Claptrap.
He has Claptrap.
It blew my mind after the hundreds of thousands of metal coolers showed up.
Mm-hmm.
They sat down with Goku and Vegeta for a second, and I was like, I could have sworn there was something where Goku and Vegeta fight this army, but there just isn't.
Yeah,
It just cuts away.
No,
It's like, oh, it's over.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And they power up, hard cut to them hanging there. It's almost like a comedy cut.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually, that was the other thing. I was like, yeah, I remember this part. It's like you think they're gonna try, but no, owned.
So this is actually one of the few Dragon Ball movies I had seen before doing this series, so I knew what I was getting into. It also informed
this is why you had such
a low opinion of Dragon Ball movies. Yes,
I hope.
Because oh boy, this movie's bad.
Good. Don't you think you're being a little mean?
No.
God damn it! It's never yes.
I feel like everyone who works on this has to know it's bad.
I mean, the funniest shit is I posted a couple of screen caps, the shot it lands on of Goku taking a stance as Super Saiyan. Somebody replied with, the original sketches look fine, so either the tracer or cell painter fucked up because look at these. And they posted the original sketch art for it, and they're right.
Exactly the same.
I don't know.
I didn't think they looked better at all.
I don't know. Goku's face has lines and angles, and then you see the actual how it looks in this movie, and it's just a blur. Its mouth is really tiny. I don't know. It's a rough film. It's
when stuff gets corrected, usually you would like to hope that it ends up going better, but there are so many instances, especially in Dragon Ball Super, where you see what the original art is, and the supervisor who has to correct the shot makes it look so bad and ruins it.
Yeah. And this is
I'm not shocked that the original actually looks good.
And that also is the exact thing that happened to Piccolo, like Phil was talking about, where the sketch art looks perfectly fine. His eyes are aligned. The shot looks really nice and well defined. By the time they painted it, everything, his eyes are off center from each other.
Yeah, whoever supervised this was on some shit.
I think they were in the hospital or something. Like they had to go to the hospital in the middle of doing this.
God.
I might be wrong.
There's got to be some reason that can explain why it drops this hard.
It's pretty rough.
Metal Cooler has a really good plan at the end of this film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, after he reveals himself to be Head.
Yeah. He's a tiny head inside of the Big Getty Star. As we discussed multiple times, Goku and Vegeta try to team up to attack all the Metal Coolers, and we do a crossfade cut straight to them hanging. It should be funny, but I was so disappointed I didn't laugh. And Meta Cooler's incredibly brilliant idea, super brilliant, is to sap them of all of their life energy. So he's using these cool, like, circuitry, I forget what you call the membranous style circuitry sort of things. But anyways, they're hooked up via that, hooked to wires and stuff, hanging them in space. He just pulls the energy out of them, and then he goes, "Oh, I'm so full, I couldn't eat another bite." And then Goku and Vegeta go, "Well, it's wafer thin." And then he's like, "Well, I don't know." And then they charge up and kill him. And it's the most insane shit.
That is the funniest shit, where he's like, "Fuck it, I'm detaching from the planet. You fucked me up so bad."
It's so dumb.
It's like they're like, "Oh shit, we rode ourselves into a corner. What do we do?" They're too strong and they make him blow up. But there's literally 10 billion coolers who could own both of them.
But they have too much power.
Also, why does he have Cyclops robots when there's 10 billion of them? Shut up.
Well, he didn't have the 10 billion before. The 10 billion were as a result of him getting owned.
Yes, that's the weirdest part. He's like, "It turns out my weak spot was only being one of me." Like, that's the thing he says, and I'm like, what the fuck kind of logic is that?
They're like, if I'm outnumbered, I'll outnumber you.
It's so dumb. What an incredible...
I'm just staring at this image that Phil posted of the two of them hanging in midair, Goku and Vegeta. Mm-hmm. And maybe this is just me. Does anyone else, like, does this kind of remind you of Beavis and Butthead?
Stop it right now.
Yes. Looking at it, yes, it's like they're on the couch watching. Like that you show that, and then you pan forward a little bit, you zoom in slowly, then cut to like a TV screen with a music video on it.
One moment imagining the butt rock. Oh my god, yeah, now that I'm looking at it, I'm feeling it now that you've said it.
I think it's something about their chins being way low.
Shout out to the dub soundtrack, by the way, which we have not talked about. It's not good.
It is super bad.
They don't have Disturbed this time?
No, this time they don't have Disturbed, but they do have some guy your dad thinks is pretty okay at the guitar.
I am basically 99% sure this was the point that when doing these, they just gave up and got the dude who composes for GT. Because it sounds like the bad ambient rock that does not help at all.
Doesn't Broly have the
Broly does have the most hilarious butt rock song of any of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try again later. It's really just this one's so bad. They probably didn't even bother.
This one, they probably saw the film and they were like, this isn't worth licensing music. It's the weird thing is, like, the way I knew immediately that something was up, they cut on a cymbal. They hit a cymbal and then they cut to something as soon as the cymbal, smashed, or the snare smashed. I was like, oh, that was proper timing with the editing and the music. This must be low-grade custom music. Okay. This was made for the movie. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And then if you turn to the Japanese music with the English voice acting, it sounds like the whole thing just dropped in audio quality a lot.
Yeah, that's...
Yes.
But yeah, so Goku and Vegeta, despite not even moving their limbs or anything anymore, shoot out more Super Saiyan life energy and own the shit out of Metacooler. And then he's like, oh, this is bullshit. And everything starts exploding. And all the Namekians and all of Goku's friends that were kidnapped try to escape the exploding Big Getty Star. And then they see Goku and Vegeta trapped on this weird platform next to the Metacooler head. And then Metacooler's like, fuck this, I'll become a giant monster. Brah. And the giant monster is somehow the worst drawn thing in this entire thing.
And somehow Cooler's head gets bigger and
Yes.
he becomes a monster.
Yes, of course.
Resident Evil 5 rules.
We forgot to mention the part where his backstory is literally just Star Trek Movie 1.
Yeah, it is Star Trek the motion picture. The only thing that is interesting storytelling in this whole thing is just lifted entirely from Star Trek the motion picture. It doesn't make a ton of sense either, because it's like, but you were thrown into the sun, which is right next to the Earth, but the story is about a microchip floating through the deep recesses of space? What?
And somehow the Getty Star, like 2 weeks ago, traveled by Earth, I guess.
I guess.
And didn't stop anywhere in our galaxy.
I guess. I don't know.
Or maybe the sun is a portal to other dimensions.
Well, you saw it made the giant explosion there, so it possibly like flung the pieces of Cooler.
Yeah, Cooler's eyeball
light years
through
away.
space.
Yeah, his eyeball and some of his skin.
We should have had a montage of his eyeball flying through space cut to like Elo. That would have been good. Instead, we get nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story of this whole movie.
It's rather dire. So he turns into a big monster. I can't even remember.
We get one of the funniest shots, one of the funniest things in this movie, unintentionally, of course, where Goku starts to ready an energy ball, and it's like almost a fucking joke. It's like, I'm gonna slowly rear back and throw it, Cooler. You better watch out. And Cooler just taps him with his big wire fist, and then the fist becomes wires and ties him up. And then he starts bleeding.
Yeah.
Which is another point where I'm like, this is a YouTube video somebody drew over the show. It's like, oh, they added blood to make it raw.
Doesn't Goku finish him with like this energy ball that seems completely like normal,
Yeah.
and then it just explodes
Yeah.
inside of him?
That was another Aqua thing that I thought reminded me of Aqua Teen, where this tiny little orb just goes into his chest, seemingly does nothing, and then he explodes.
I hate this because this makes me feel like this is the time they'd use the spirit bomb again, but didn't have enough time, money, or staff to make it a spirit bomb.
Instead, it's like a tiny little gold ball. Nobody does shit in this movie. Nobody does a move except Vegeta.
Oh yeah, he does Big Bang Attack, and Piccolo does the arm stretch thing once.
But Goku doesn't do a Kamehameha this entire movie.
He bring Roshi out, and he does literally nothing.
Yeah, at least Yajirobe was the bean daddy.
That's why I thought they were going camping initially.
Yeah, because you're like, why the fuck would Oolong go to New Namek?
And then the movie ends the same way the last two movies ended, with everybody doing the G.I. Joe standing around and laughing.
Pork chop sandwiches.
And then we cut to Vegeta brooding in his pod as he crushes the computer chip he got somehow.
Yeah, he somehow got the original chip that creates the Big Getty Star.
What a nightmare.
Oh, well, if we've finished summarizing the film, we have to go into our 3 segments. And they're a lot of fun, aren't they?
They sure are.
The first one, of course, is you need to pick someone from this film who is capable enough and strong enough to defeat Jiren. And well, you know what, Bob, go ahead.
Sure. You know what? Krillin. He learns.
All right.
He learns to put his power. He puts all the power into his fist, and that apparently lets him do anything. Just like every character in this film. Every character in this film can beat Jiren. They just need to actually learn how to focus their ki into their fist.
God. God. I can't contest that.
Yeah, sounds rock solid to me.
Heck, he can even show a Destructo disc that looks like Vegeta threw in Own Metal Cooler.
Okay, here's mine. Metal Cooler.
Okay, how?
It's Jiren versus Metal Cooler, not Jiren versus the Big Getty Star. He'll just keep beating up Metal Cooler, and he'll just keep getting better. Eventually, he'll fight 500,000 kaiju-sized Metal Coolers and eventually lose.
War of attrition. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This checks out.
I mean, Metal Cooler did seem basically undefeatable.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, see, attacking the source of Metal Cooler's power would not be true strength.
No, of
Yes.
course not.
Yep. It all fits together. Feel, what's your pick?
The Cyclops robots, because Jiren would not focus his ki into his fist because that is not true strength, so he would be unable to defeat the Cyclops robots.
Exactly right. Exactly.
You are
right.
absolutely correct. Please, everyone in the audience, ignore that we're blazing through this. Dan.
I'm gonna follow through in the spirit of the movie of recycling and being thrifty. The Sun. I do believe the Sun could defeat Jiren.
Well, given that they showed an entirely uncut scene of the Sun putting in work in this movie, you can absolutely pick that as a character.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the Sun stands a pretty good chance of defeating Jiren.
Well, I am relieved that we have all come together and done that. This movie may not be so good because I fucking forgot what segment comes first. Who's our Yamcha award? Dan, you go first.
I'm gonna stick.
I had a feeling something was going wrong.
I thought this was an executive decision on your part, and I respected it.
Yeah, that's my assumption. I'm like, no one's fucking checked me on this because they know it's all a nightmare.
Who gets the Yamcha award? There's so many people that should get it right now. You know what? I'm gonna say Metacooler because he had the power of the Big Getty Star, and he still lost like a chump.
You took mine.
It's so embarrassing. He's like, I could have 10 million of me, and we're all super strong and could kill both of you almost by ourselves. Haha, it's so powerful. I'm just gonna hook you up now to my power line. Hope you don't do anything.
No, you're doing something. No.
You're doing the exact thing I wanted, but at 10% more than I expected.
He already won. He's just like, I want to get super revenge by having you power me.
No.
It's pretty bad when you get defeated by two guys who look literally like vegetables.
Bob, I fucking fell out. After you finished talking, I was miles away. I wasn't here anymore. Bob, Yamcha Award? Is that? Yeah, that.
Yes, Yamcha award. Anyone? Let's see. Dende, sure. Dende, this is his first
Why?
movie appearance. He does nothing but cry.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. He doesn't even tell them what the problem is.
He just says, help
He just
Goku.
help. Whoa.
He doesn't even exist in a real scene. He's like not actually talking to Goku.
Oh yeah, no, he's talking to air.
Yeah.
This movie's such a fucking mess.
Did Funimation dub it weird? Because in the Japanese, it's framed clearly like he already talked to Goku and is now just waiting on Earth, tapping his fingers together like, oh, I hope they don't get owned.
No, the beginning of the movie shows all that shit happening on Namek, and then they're like, on Earth, Dende, blah, 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 asks for help. And then Mr. Popo advises him to ask for help. We then cut to that scene, and Popo says, you can ask Goku, it's fine. And then he goes, Goku, please help. And this is all just a front-on shot of them. Then we cut to movie intro.
Was this their equivalent of thinking that it doesn't explain it properly in Japanese, so we'll fix it?
Maybe.
I would
also, it's weird that the narration is in the Japanese, which I thought was weird. Like, it's, wow, you have so little money, you're like just narrating over stills.
Yeah. That's a shocking amount of this film, yeah.
Feel.
You know what? I'm just going to have to go with Vegeta. It's his very first movie appearance, and he gets incapacitated by getting his testicles kicked up into his abdomen.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is a theme for, like, the next 3 movies of testicular abuse.
That's true.
Oh god, who else? Shit. Because I was going to pick Vegeta. Because he sucks so bad, he gets owned immediately. He's like that guy who wants to get the last word in a conversation, so he had to crush the computer chip at the end. It's not great.
He loses an argument on Twitter and blocks Metal Cooler and is like, no, it is you who is owned.
He unblocks him for 1 second to yell at him one more time and then blocks him again.
Wait, are we saying he's Jason Schreier?
Yes.
You scumbags. I've figured it out. The Yamcha Award goes to the Big Getty Star for seemingly absorbing the dumbest Dragon Ball villain, I guess.
True. I don't think any other villain so far would be this fucking stupid.
I'm going to internalize my own canon that this movie never really happened because Cooler is much more enjoyable in one movie and not the second one.
Don't worry, they'll put him in a real Dragon Ball movie sometime. He'll get rebooted into the timeline like Broly, and it'll be great.
I don't doubt it.
That design might be really sick.
God, the last movie was so much better than this. Remember the face mask? He flexed it on.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Remember
Turned
the
into
animation?
Super Shredder.
Pictures moved.
Yeah, it was fucking cool as hell.
Instead, we got an homage to Sleeping Princess in Devil's Castle.
This movie looks worse than that.
Yeah.
This movie looks worse than Sleeping Princess by a lot.
Okay, it's time for segment 3. I realize we're slowing down, and that fucking ain't good. So, Metal Cooler is our villain. You're going to need to propose a character in the canon Dragon Ball universe that can defeat him. We'll start with Phil.
Frieza, because Frieza would just be like, what's that thing? And blow up the Big Getty Star and instantly own him.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, that's what would happen.
Frieza has shit to do. He has a schedule.
Frieza has a history of getting mad and blowing shit up around him. All right, Dan.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Boo. Boo would turn his entire army into chocolate and eat it, and if they keep coming, that's not a problem for him. He'll just eat more chocolate. I think by the end, he turns the Getty Star into a Cadbury egg.
Now I'm just imagining like Goku and Vegeta are charging the Big Getty Star with like more peanut butter flavor.
It just cracks open and just starts oozing.
Okay. My answer will be Cell, because he has a couple of routes here. He could maybe absorb one of them with his tail, become supercharged.
You ever just eat a computer?
Yeah, with his tail, just he sucks it up. He does that in Dragon Ball GT to Goku at one point, and he becomes the most powerful character in all of the canon. And then I think Goku crawls out of his ass.
Dan, you are so smart for just stopping that.
Yeah, because Dragon Ball GT by that point is, what if the return of Cooler was the animation quality of an entire show? And then the other thing could be he gets owned really bad, but he does the thing in the show where he gets really big and nukes himself. Because as he's established, he can blow himself up and destroy an entire planet and then regenerate.
And see, Metal Cooler would make a mistake and use the instant transmission on him, and Cell would instantly learn it, just like he did when Goku did it.
Also,
yeah, because he's got Saiyan Cell, so he works the exact same way as Metal Cooler. They both regenerate, and they both get stronger.
Also, Cell's very clever. When the army of 10,000 Metacoolers show up, I bet he could trick them just like he tricked Vegeta when he was like, hey, you should let me get really strong. And then Vegeta's like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I think his...
You don't want to get owned by someone with monkey cells, do you?
I think he would be able to execute one of his trademark Cell clever ploys.
Yes. Anytime he touches his forehead, he can do one.
Damn it, I'm thinking of it. Bob, I assume I haven't gone to you yet.
No, not yet. I assume that I assume that he can't deal with time-stopping powers.
Oh, Bob, he said canon Dragon Ball characters. Yeah, Super isn't canon because GT's the canonical sequel to Z.
What?
as the commissioner of the show, no.
Also, I think the official byline is still somehow that they're both canon.
And I will give you access to both of them if you wish. If you ever want to use General Rildo, you're free to do so.
Nobody wants to use that guy.
He's like an even bigger, more badass robot. He'd own Metal Cooler for sure.
Yeah,
He has a
there's the
drill
line.
hand.
He's stronger than Majin Buu.
Of course they say that.
They're like, watch out, Goku. He's stronger than Majin Buu.
Do you think Metacooler's strong enough to kill that pedophile, Daltaki?
I think everyone has the power to take out that pedophile with Dragon Ball GT.
Just not Goku because he didn't care.
Because
Yes.
he's like,
Yes, because that first arc is the worst Dragon Ball ever gets.
I don't know. I just watched Metacooler.
What if everyone in existence decided they didn't care?
That first arc, Dan, is what if Metal Cooler was 14 episodes?
That first arc is really funny at points. It has delightful characters it introduces. This is nothing. It's so recycled it hurts. And then the only original thing is stolen from Star Trek the motion picture.
Stop making up narratives.
No,
we
it's
stop?
true. It's literally that.
All right.
Stop.
Well, I guess I'll have you, Dan, lead our review. So how it works is you give a quick review of the film and rank it from a 1 to 7. Make sure to make good use of the variety of numbers you have on display here. Don't feel like you definitely need to go to one side or the other.
Oh yeah, no. I've thought about this a lot. I've thought about what my scale currently exists at, what informed my really bad opinion of Dragon Ball movies, and it was this exact film. I'm going to give The Return of Cooler a 1. It is the worst Dragon Ball film we have seen so far. Handily. Easily. Without a fucking doubt. There are cool scenes in Bardock. Like 2 of them. There are 0 cool scenes in this. It is awful.
And you said some shit about Bardock.
Yeah. Not the big fan.
A choice quote from our Bardock episode. I'm upset there is not a 0 on our scale.
Yes. We would be at -1 right now if I could keep moving this into the ground.
All right, well, I need to bring in a beacon of positivity. Bob.
This movie is really dire. We've done nothing but talk about how bad the animation is and how there isn't a plot even for like 30 minutes now. This is a 1.
Okay. Feel.
1. I would be stunned if even like Bio Broly is worse than this.
Bio Broly's better.
We watched Bio Broly sometime about a year ago. It is better than this. I'm confident we will not find a movie this bad ever again in the series.
I'm not. I hesitate to say even Evolution will be worse than this. I think that'll be at least funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have fun.
That'll be something.
As opposed to this.
Well, The Return of Cooler is a movie, apparently. I watched it. The animation was really disappointing. Everything about it just is a massive downgrade from what we watched last time. As a reference, I gave Cooler's Revenge a 6. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Felt it was simple, to the point, decent enough pacing, good licensed music. This didn't have any of it. Cooler's my favorite of these movie villains. They fucking ruined him so bad in this and made him so much worse. And that buffs it enough to say, yes, 1. This is our worst movie of the entire show, and the first one to receive a combined score out of 28 of 4. The lowest possible score.
I didn't expect us to hit it, but then I watched this.
Right? There's like nothing
I
redeeming.
did. Before this, I'm like, I could give it a 3, but my heart's saying 2. We do this show? Yeah, we gotta do it.
Yeah,
I gotta shoot it in the head right now.
It's so bad. I would never recommend any human watch this. I would recommend any of these other movies over it easily. Hey, Dan,
Yes.
should I watch Bardock, the father of Goku, or The Return of Cooler? Oh, watch Bardock, the father of Goku. There's a cool song in that at one point.
There's really just nothing in this. There's nothing of value to humanity.
And I would have liked, they're bringing back a cool villain. Like, they're doing like a metal version of it to offset the robot Frieza.
Yeah.
Interested what they do with this. And what they did was nothing.
Literally nothing. It's so embarrassingly bad. It is the worst.
And it's like, that's why I barely remember so many things in this movie in particular, despite liking Cooler. It's because fucking nothing happens. I remember chunks of pretty much every other one we're going to watch.
Yeah. No, like...
This was...
I think my head made up things that happened in this movie to cope.
I was like, well, certainly didn't crossfade to them hanging. That's stupid. There must have been a cool fight.
So I figured out the mystery.
Okay.
I figured out the mystery of why this looks so shitty. The next movie, Super Android 13, came out 4 months later. They must have been making it at the same time and decided to do another Cooler movie because he was popular.
My brain, the images in my head of that movie go, I remember that looking good. I remember there being shots I liked in the next one.
Yeah,
and I'm kidding. They had... It has to be, because there's like multiple locations in that. Yeah, it's got to be that. Well, we have our group rankings that I can roll through. God damn it. What happened?
our number 10 movie for this one episode is movie 10 in this.
Yes, the worst movie of the 10 we've seen so far, The Return of Cooler with 4 points. Then we have a 3-way tie for second to last, and that is between, let's see, that's Bardock, Tree of Might, and Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle. And then after that, we've got, let's see here,
Curse
with
of the
11
Blood
points. Yeah, with 11 points, Curse of the Blood Rubies. And then we've got Mystical Adventure with 13 points. Then we've got, with 16 points, World's Strongest.
Man, those were good times.
And then we got a tie, which was the previous 2 things we saw, with 19 points. The 2 previous things we saw, which were 19. That was Lord Slug and Cooler's Revenge. And then beating that out by an entire 3 points. Score of 22. Dead Zone is our number 1. I would like to just take us through the total score, our journey, where it started 11, 8, 13, 22, 16, 8, 8, 19, 19, 4.
Yeah, no, it was like the bass dropping in a fucking dubstep song. It hurt.
Man, this roller coaster was made by someone with no respect for necks.
It's so rough. I was so positive about this series until this movie. I was like, hey, these
That's
are
fine.
getting better. They're enjoyable aspects.
There can't be anything that gets worse than that.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We've hit the rock fucking bottom. Nothing is as bad as this unless I just completely forgot that BoJack Unbound isn't a real movie.
It's just a 2D or just one frame.
It's just him talking to Trunks for an hour? I don't even know.
If the frame moves, then it might end up being better.
It depends. Are at least half of the frames well drawn? Because this thing looks so bad, so nonstop.
Are the pupils aligned? We'll find out. Well, we've given you our rankings. We've gone through the whole thing. It is now time to put an end to this show by telling you what's happening next time in the form of Something Bob Has to Read, written by Phil.
Are those banjos I hear? Looks like we're heading south in more ways than one. It's a trucker hat wearing android racist caricatures in the South Pole. Next time on Mondo Cool, Super Android 13.
We have to be out. I can't take it anymore.
Does caricatures not have an H?
No.
Weird.
This month's GigaBoots videos have erupted into reality thanks to the money magic of our executive producers. Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spib, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, They Podlord Now, and local himbo Adam Admar. Thank you very much to our executive producers.
And also these guys.
If you want to become powerful like our executive producers, you can head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.